At this time, we have reports and action items if needed from executive session. I'm going to ask the board if I may have a privilege here. Would we rather do that first or have these people that have been sitting out here for 2 hours?
Then we have these people that have been sitting out here.
Yeah. Okay, so do you mind if I'm going to modify the agenda just by flipping the 2, 7, and 6, if that's okay with everybody. So at this time, we are going to move to citizens' participation. And the Lexington County School District 1 Board of Trustees provides a time for citizens' participation at each regular board meeting. There are a few guidelines, of course. First, in order to speak, you must be a parent or legal guardian of a student in Lexington County School District 1 or a resident and taxpayer of the district. Second, each speaker will have 3 minutes. Third, you may comment on an agenda item, school operations, programs, policies, or other matters of concerns. However, you may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. There are other ways to bring those situations to the board's attention. We want to give everyone a chance who came tonight to speak, so we ask that you not an opportunity to speak. For that reason, board members will not reply to your individual remarks. And if someone makes the point or points you came to make before you, if you could just state that you agree with the previous speaker and not restate every point, that would help us as well. We also ask that you not clap or make any comments either while an individual is speaking or after a speaker finishes, as that also slows down the process considerably. I do have 2 cards. Is there anyone else that would like to speak that has not submitted a card? Because you can fill one out and bring it to us now if you're interested. Oh, I think they're out on the table. Okay. So we'll just go with these 2. So let's see. As stated earlier, you should not expect us to reply to your remarks, although we may ask you a question. As a board, we will not take any action tonight in response to issues you raised during citizens' participation. So I'm going to start with dress code, and this is Catherine Orellana. Did I pronounce it correctly? Oriana. And she lives in West Columbia. And is the mom speaking or the daughter? The mom. Okay, the mom. And she has a daughter at White Knoll Middle, and she is in the 8th grade. So take it away, please.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving me a moment of your time, and I hope you will take the message you will receive from me today and think very hard on the possible decision that you could maybe make moving forward. On September 3rd, my daughter was sent to the ISS room because of a supposed dress code violation. I personally dropped her off in the morning, so I was confused since there was nothing wrong with what she was wearing. Upon further conversation with the teacher and a member of the administration, I was sent a photo of my child to show what the problem was. Apparently, her shirt was not reaching the length of her fingertips, which was necessary because she was wearing black leggings. I ensured these were not see-through when I bought them for her, so I do not feel like she should have been removed from her classroom, missing 3 hours because her t-shirt did not reach her fingertips. Part of the dress code policy you have on the board's website, it was adopted in October 1st, 1972. So it's 47 years today. The last time it was revised was March 16th, 2004. My issue with this dress code is the fact that it more or less points at females and blames them for how they look, and it's calling them a distraction to the class, saying that their clothes are actually what is distracting, and we don't even know who it's actual distracting. It states, parents, legal guardians have the right to determine how the student will dress, providing that such attire is not destructive to school property, complies with the requirements for health and safety, and does not interfere with or disrupt the educational process or environment, or pose a likelihood of such interference or disruption. The dress codes being enforced are putting a false importance on female appearance. Girls, just like boys, are in school to learn, yet when a girl is disciplined for her attire, it gives the impression that their education is not as important as whether or not they are dressed appropriately. I would like to know, why are females' clothing or bodies being labeled as distracting because of a particular type of clothing they're deciding to wear? Who or what are they actually distracting? If your answer is, well, you know how boys are, then that's the problem. If it is not my daughter's responsibility to ensure that she is not distracting the boys in her class. It's the boy's responsibility to figure out how to not be distracted, no matter what the issue is, and control himself. Take consideration what you are teaching our young women when you take them out of their learning environment, because they're supposedly distracting. Take a moment and ask yourselves, do we want to be the reason why boys grow up thinking that their actions are ultimately a woman's responsibility? I know we've all heard it before. It's not nice to hear, but you've heard in the news men say, well, what do you expect, when she was wearing what she was wearing? I feel like this should make a light bulb go off in your head. The district's dress code policy is subconsciously teaching young boys that they are allowed to think that way. And I would really like for you guys to stand with me and show our young women that they are not a distraction. And please take a moment to possibly amend this and teach the rest of the district that their clothing should not be taking them out of the class.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
I have a question. You said that her fingertips didn't touch the bottom of her shirt. Where did that requirement come
That
from?
is in the dress code policy for her school.
Is that in their handbook?
Yeah, it's in the student handbook.
Okay, and it's
Yeah.
specifically for White Knoll Middle School
Yes.
handbook? Okay,
Yeah. She's actually wearing what she was wearing that day.
okay. I just wasn't, I didn't think our district student handbook,
It's not. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
say
didn't
that
think
in that. I feel like maybe that just because the school can amend it and do what they want to do with it and propose it to the students, I don't think they should go that far. She missed 3 classes because of this, because of a T-shirt. So I'd
thank
just
you.
like for something to be done, if possible.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Miss Oriana.
Oriana.
Say it again.
Oriana.
Oriana. We'll have somebody from my office reach out to you within the next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, you can just set it up there. We have, the subject is bullying at school, and the parent that wishes to speak with us is Chantel Smith Stafford. She lives at 187 Longwood Drive, and her daughter is a student at White Knoll High School. So thank you, Ms. Stafford.
And this is my very first time, and I did not come prepared with something written down like she did. So I'm extremely nervous. However, I do have a legitimate concern about the bullying.
Can you pull the microphone? Yeah, there
Yes.
you go. Thank you.
I do have a legitimate concern about the bullying. I know now that there is a process that is in place. But in my experience, and it was our very first experience, even though I do have 2 children, one has graduated and has a degree in college and always lived in Lexington One School District, it was our first experience this past March with my daughter and a over 200-pound boy. And even though Lexington County cannot see the difference, I saw that there is something in place as, what is it called? Uneven, something about the odds with him being much larger. However, I don't think that the school in our case could have done anything prior to, because it escalated extremely quickly. But after the fact, I absolutely believe that they could have. I am currently dealing with the district now, and they are talking with me again, and I have a new person to speak with, and I'm very thankful for that. And that was due to a Facebook rant, and I do apologize if anyone read it, but I can't apologize too deeply because it got me to another open door, whereas before, I need y'all to understand I was getting closed doors. And I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what the guidelines were set in place. And when I finally did go back and read them for myself, I realized that her case did meet 3 out of the 4, if not all 4, that were in those guidelines, and still nothing was done. I had to remove my child from the school for her safety because she was afraid for, that's what she called me every day to tell me. She was afraid for her life. And once I did, it affected, prior to that entire month, it affected her grades. She has always been AB honor roll. Her grades dropped. When I switched her schools, her grades came back up to AB honor roll, and we finally had peace. There is not a zero tolerance policy. That's what I'm here to say. I know that it's written in there, but there's too much tolerance in these schools. And I think that something else needs to be done. And these kids, they don't know that they can actually anonymously, email. And I think that they need to be made aware. Parents need to be made aware. We've even discussed since then about, okay, well, if you see something, a video, just let me video the video and I'll send it in. Or, let me know about it and I'll be the one to tell. But these kids have got to have a voice, and they don't need to be afraid of what's going to happen to them when the next person finds out. And I think that the system that is set in place is a good one, but it's only good if it's being enforced. That made me nervous, I'm sorry. So thank you for hearing me today.
Thank you, Ms. Stafford. We appreciate both of y'all coming and sharing your information with us.
A suggestion that I did have is, could we do like a letter? I know that it's in the handbook, but could we send a letter home to the students for the parents that have that about the bullying, that have the guidelines about the bullying? Because truly, I've spoken with too many that they don't have a clue, and the handbook's all online. You don't, until it happens,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for staying, and you're more than, if you want to leave now, you're more than welcome to leave. We're probably going to go a good little bit longer, so if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay, but if you want to leave, feel free to leave, either whatever one you want to do.